This is Billy Don Burns, and you're listening to Undergroundopolis.
So, this is awesome. I'd like to thank the festival for having us. Maybe we'll bring our PA next time. But I'd like to dedicate this to my wife. Yeah.
Welcome to part 2 of season 3, everybody. I took a little break, my first real break since January 20th, and now we're back. We're getting ready to work to bring you the best in the non-mainstream entertainment, as I always do. A few local announcements right now. Open mic at Dundee Tavern every Wednesday night at 2224 Dundee Road in Louisville, Kentucky. Open mic every Wednesday night from 7 to 10. The host looks a whole lot like me. I've actually had a few entertainers now stop in on the road. So if you're a DIY traveling musician, touring artist, and you need a place to play at on Wednesday night, stop on in there. The tips have been great, and everybody's been doing real well when they stop in there. I love having traveling musicians come in. And open mic at 21st in Germantown is still every Sunday night with your host, my buddy, local comedian, Uncool Randy. And it's not just a comedy open mic. There's musicians, there's comedians, there's poets. Everything goes on there. So, and that's 1483 South Shelby Street in Louisville, Kentucky. Tonight starts our series with the Master Musicians Festival 2021. We got a rundown of the artists here. What a fantastic weekend that was. Great event. It was my first press pass, and tonight is my first festival artist. Tell us who you are, where you're from.
It's Arthur Hancock. I play with Wolfpen Branch, and I'm from Kentucky over here, living in Frankfort now.
How did Wolfpen Branch come together?
Well, it's kind of a funny story. If not for really for COVID, the band as it is now wouldn't probably exist. I had taken a break from playing music, and then in 2019, actually December 2019, I was at a party, and I saw Chris Schaus there, and we both had brought our instruments and got into a jam, and then I convinced him to start playing some shows. And over the course of the next few months in early 2020, we picked up some good shows, and we're having fun, and thought it would be nice to have a bass player because he was playing mandolin and I was playing guitar. And then we got Roddy Puckett to join us on bass, and then over the rest of the pandemic, the band kind of evolved, and now we're at the 5-piece that we are now. And it's been a real fun time to get to play with the band and get to make music. And I was glad to play down at Master Musicians Festival. That was a good time.
It sure was, man. My shins were so sore when I come back home on Sunday. We're walking to each stage all day long. Well, you as Arthur Hancock, could you tell me, like, narrow down somebody you saw or at a concert or on TV or anything that you saw that this person is playing music and you said, you know what, I want to do that. Could you narrow down that influence?
Well, real quickly, I could say, just growing up in the household I grew up in, there was plenty of music. My dad plays music, So getting to see some of his friends, and I'll say a seminal moment for me was my dad in '99, I think it was, recorded a bluegrass record of songs he had written, and I got to watch firsthand the players on that record play, and the banjo player was J.D. Crowe, and I got to watch J.D. play banjo in the studio like that, and it wasn't a show, but it was a recording session, and at that moment I knew I wanted to play bluegrass music and create those sounds that they were creating in the studio that day. And as far as a concert goes, I saw Robert Plant and the Band of Joy at Telluride Bluegrass Festival, and it kind of blew me. It was like a kind of a out-of-body experience. The guy was like a superhuman or something. It was incredible. It was a great show.
You got 2 singles out right now, is that correct? You got another one coming out?
A song that I co-wrote with my cousin. He did the majority of the heavy lifting, but I got to help him polish up a song called Swanee. It comes out on August 12th, and that'll be our 3rd single as a band. And we're excited about it. We're playing at the Station Inn on Thursday night as well, so we're gearing up to head to Nashville and play a show. And it's a great venue, and it's I don't know if listeners are familiar with the Station Inn. If you're not, you should check it out. It's a historical and a magical place for acoustic and bluegrass music, so we're excited to get to play there.
Do you have a particular creative process?
As far as, well, honestly, man, I've gotten into this whole kind of trying to embody John Hartford lately. Songs to me are ideas and energy, and they kind of materialize when they're meant to materialize, in my world at least. And I've honestly gotten really into just making up songs. So it's part spontaneity and part, contriving some lyrics. But I think if I was to be more diligent about writing and being creative, I would probably go towards David Byrne from the Talking Heads as kind of an idealist on how to best create music. He starts with melody and then kind of creates freestyle or just a stream of consciousness word wise, and then he pares that down and edits it into a song. And I really like that method of just kind of meditating on the melody and just writing different lyrics and piecing them together and creating a song. It's pretty fun. But the greatest thing is playing in a band, because you can write something and hear it one way, and then it comes out either completely different or just the way you anticipated. When you get the other musicians you play with to add their own takes both on the melody and harmony and groove and everything like that.
That is so very true too, man. I love collaborating. The next level is there,
Totally, and fresh ideas, and
yeah.
It's always fun to share in music too. I think that's what it's meant to be, is shared. So sometimes I write a song and I only need a few words, and I'll go ahead and throw a co-write somebody's way just because I can't quite get it where I want it, and most of the time they do. So,
can you tell us about your favorite show that you've played and why? It's one of my
honestly, so I played at the Burl in Lexington, which isn't like a huge venue or anything, but it's like a 400 cap room, and I played there in March of 2019, and I thought it was going to be the last time I ever played really a show. And honestly, I didn't anticipate creating a band or anything that, nothing really is in the future. You never see it coming. But with the band I was with before, we had been fairly successful around the region, and I decided to hang it up because I have some health issues with my hands. But I came back to the Burl in the spring of 2021 with Wolfpen Branch and sold out a big outdoor show. So just getting the opportunity to play a show, because I've redeveloped kind of a technique to play music, but also supported in the way we were as the first time at the Burl, really out, as an outdoor setup, bunch of tickets, and we had a big crowd on a Sunday. And honestly, that would probably be my favorite show I've ever played, just because it was like, man, we can do this. Or, I can still do this. If you're a musician, you've put a lot of time in to get to where you are now, and to think that all that passion and energy and love for music was not going to be able really to be as big a part of my life. So it was a bit of a head, as much as it was a physical problem, there's a lot of mental. Losing the ability to play the banjo, which I was doing professionally, it was not fun. So the comeback tour, I guess. So literally every show I play now, man, is like the greatest show ever because I'm getting to do it, and I'm grateful. And I think a lot of musicians should try and embody that because I know we can all get self-critical or anything like that. I think we should just play and enjoy it and create and be grateful we can do it at all.
That's true. That's very true.
Especially with COVID.
A lot of musicians do lose grasp of that. And myself, I'm like, when I hear someone better than me, and so I get real discouraged, and I'm like, man, I just suck. But
well, do you enjoy it? That's all that matters.
Oh yeah, I sure do. But
yeah.
Here's the counter question. Well, could you share your least favorite show?
So I played in a band called the Wooks. We played fairly far-reaching places around the country. We never went to Europe, but we played in California, Utah, Montana, Colorado, New York, Texas. We've been around the country pretty good, and we got booked to play at a festival in Colorado in Steamboat Springs called Winter Wondergrass. And being in a traveling band, you don't really pack. At least if you're in a van with 6 dudes, you're trying to pack light. And we went to Steamboat Springs through a blizzard and played. I think we played 6 sets in like 3.5 days, maybe more. Maybe it was like 2.5. Maybe it was like a Friday to Sunday, and we played 6 sets. And I didn't get to ski, and I didn't hardly get to watch very much music because we were always like either going to another show or thinking about going to one of the other sets we were playing. But yeah, I honestly now, like I'm pretty picky. Like if a festival wants us to play a bunch in a short amount of time, I'd rather just play one set, get to put the guitar down and go listen to some other music and visit with friends and hang out, because you got to take opportunities when they come. But I didn't really like going to Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and not putting on a pair of skis. That wasn't very fun.
I had no idea you were playing in the Woods.
Yeah, man, I was the lead singer and banjo player for I think 3 years, and then I switched to guitar when like I mentioned before, I have a condition called dystonia, focal dystonia. It's a nerve problem in my hand, so I can't play the banjo anymore. Standards that I had, and play guitar with an abstract method, but it works.
What did you say it's called?
Focal dystonia.
And is that
go ahead? Dystonia. Some great banjo players. A lot of horn players can develop it in their mouths, like on their lips, because of the intensity with which they're using those muscles. It's a performance or a performance injury. It's basically like the wiring to that certain movement has fried itself because it's been done so many times. And at the time that I developed it, I was playing hours and hours of banjo every day, and I played really hard and didn't use a monitor and stuff like that. It was it happens, but all in all, I'm pretty grateful for what's gone on musically. It's pushed me out of my comfort zone,
Done pretending that I know anymore. Better left unto myself. Minds are changing, but I'm stuck on the floor. All my passengers bereft. Done deciding where to go and what for. On and on, but in between. Minds are changing and I'm not really sure. Someone tell me what they mean. A little further down the line and I find the only hope that I've got left, hiding somewhere in this heart of mine, neath the surface of myself.
I think the song that I would say is most personal is I wrote it called Surface. Aaron Biebelhauser, who plays in the band Wolfpen with me, he helped co-write that, and we recorded it. I recorded it with the Wooks, and then recorded it on a solo project that I put out in 2019. I don't, claim to believe that life's all roses all the time, and it's about struggling. It's about depression and self-doubt and things like that. And I don't straight out say it in the song, but I think if you listen to it, you'll understand that life, what it's talking about. And I quit drinking alcohol 10 years ago, and things have been pretty damn good since then, but I definitely was able to tap into that's some personal stuff, but I was able to convey that through that song. I'm pretty sure I've had people reach out to me and say it really, meant something to them, which is always really cool to hear.
If you could open a show for any artist, who would that be?
I would say I'd really like to open for Robert Earl Keen.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be on the same bill as him at Romp in September in Owensboro. We're playing down there, and he's on the bill. I've gotten to open for some cool people, but I think I'd like to play with his band, with Wolfpen as an opener, because it's different music, but it's got some of the same stylings, it's all about the song. He's my favorite. I love his songwriting, and I think he's a great entertainer.
Where all have you performed?
I've played, we played in California, we played in New York City, we played in Denver, we played in Montana, all over Colorado. We did a tour in Colorado one summer with Peter Rowan. Played in Florida with Peter Rowan at Swanee. Did the Telluride band competition as well as the Rocky Grass band competition in Colorado. We won the Rocky Grass in 2016, and then we placed in the finals in 2017. Played in New York City, like I said, Chicago, the UP, Michigan. I've never played in the Pacific Northwest. I've never gone up into Oregon or Washington to play, but yeah, man, been a lot of places. Haven't played out of the country much. We talked about going to Europe. There's some really good promoters of American music in the European market, but obviously all that's changed since March of 2020.
Yeah.
But we put a lot of miles on the truck. We had a 15 passenger Ford Econoline van, and
the ultimate touring van.
Oh man, it's a beast. And we I've left Denver at 8 p.m. and gotten to Kentucky the next morning a few times, and just done some big hauls. Drove to Montana straight a few times. I'm actually flying this Sunday. I'm flying to Salt Lake City and then driving to Montana for a gig, playing music for Montana Trout Stalkers and Candade Foundation, which is a nonprofit we work with, and we're going up there to raise some money and fish for some trout and play some bluegrass. So it's going to be I got a big week or two in front of me.
What was the foundation?
The Candade, CAN''D. It's from Longmont or Lyons, Colorado, and they do a lot of great things both in the music realm as well as in just greater good projects for less fortunate kids and individuals in our country, and they do a lot to support emerging musicians and work with artists to promote. They do these great music workshops. You'll go to a school, and I did this a lot with the Wooks. We did one in Utah, we did one in Colorado, New York City. We've done them all over in Kentucky as well. And you basically, as an artist, would go to the school and perform for the school in the auditorium, and then unveil this donation of musical instruments to the school. It's really cool to get to do that. The kids get real excited and play with all the instruments and dream about, being a musician. And it's a great way to spread it and pay it forward.
I'll get a link from you sometime, and I'll include it in the description for all that.
Yeah, man. Candade. I think it's just candade.org.
Okay.
they got a great web page.
How many instruments do you play?
Honestly, at this point, I only really play the guitar. I could play the bass for 10 minutes on a stand up, it'll wear you out, but,
Right.
I know how to play bass. That was actually the first thing I ever played. I'm not a bass player, but I played in the band in high school playing bass, and then I play a little bit of fiddle. I picked it up a few years ago and haven't really progressed, but if someone handed me a fiddle, I could play them 5 or 6 songs, and then mandolin I can play. But, losing the ability to flat pick, to hold a rigid flat pick with stringed instruments has been a big loss really for my musicality. Because, on the guitar, a lot of the soloing it's all done with a flat pick, and I'm basically a rhythm guitar player now in the band that I'm in.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's cool. Play harmonica some, and I can dabble on about anything, but I'm not like this guy in our band now, Aaron Beeblehauser that I mentioned. He can straight wear out like 10 instruments, and
I kind of think I know him.
He's from Louisville, man. He's a Louisville cat.
Dude, that name is so familiar, man. I think I might know him. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, not at all. I mean, I'd say I'm a guitar player that fancies himself a fiddle player sometimes, and I'm not going to go play any gigs on the fiddle, but I might take it down to the creek and go camping and play the fiddle. I've had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun playing for myself because it gives me the opportunity to play melodically. Because the right hand is just a bow, so my left hand has I can fret and play chords and move my left hand just fine. So
what's the best musical advice you ever been given?
Play for yourself. Peter Rowan, he's a great American singer-songwriter. He played some really important music over the years, and he told me one time I was kind of down on what I was doing, and he said, look, the people that care don't matter, and those that matter don't care, like if you're playing music, and I've taken that approach in a way with a lot of the, just playing music to play music, it's like such a great thing. And it's really, I'm trying to focus on more of it as an art form than like some sort of competition or, it's gotten really competitive. Bluegrass music in essence is a kind of a testosterone driven, play harder and faster and cleaner than anyone kind of, genre. It's like jazz and,
I was going to say it's similar to metal.
Yeah, it's like metal.
It's not really, but
no, it's got. I mean, if you look what Billy Strings is doing, he's bringing a lot of metal to bluegrass.
Yeah.
But I play with energy and enjoy it, and hopefully people like it.
Can we expect an album, a full length album, or
from Wolfpen? Yeah, Wolfpen is going into the studio later this month. Like I said, we're releasing our third single on the 12th of August, and we have a project available to record. We're just getting it done as we can, but I think this fall we're hopefully going to release a project including those 3 singles.
But a lot of people are just doing singles now. That's why I asked. And I don't think it's a stupid idea. I think that's pretty smart, actually. I think that's because people lose interest. So people's attention spans now are just. You buy an album, you listen to that one song, and how often do you not listen to the record? Not like us musicians, we probably listen to the whole album. People,
yeah. But no, you're right. I mean, I honestly think folks buy records at shows, especially the vinyl game is blowing up lately. But it's backlogged so bad right now, you can't hardly get any product. But I think like if you write a song and you play it with a band, you should go record it and you should release it. That's what I think, because you never know when you might not be able to record that song.
The last year and a half, we've really learned that, haven't we?
Yeah. So it's like, I'm just more about capturing the moment, and I like doing things as live as possible. And, I don't really give a shit anymore, to be honest. I might have to mute that out.
No, you say anything you want on my show. Yeah.
But I mean, I spent, and I feel like I developed Dystonia, which is a performance-based, like, a lot of people get it when they're preparing for like a big concert or a big, like a professional orchestra player would get it preparing for some monumental show. And I honestly put a lot of undue pressure on myself to be a better banjo player. And if I could just play a forward role, I'd be happy. So,
well, you got anything you want to add before we wrap this up?
Man, I just say, if you're from Kentucky, keep supporting the local music scenes that exist around you and the artists that make that art. And we hope to see you at one of our shows. We're going to play in Louisville in October with the Hot Brown Smackdown at Zanzibar. We look forward to the opportunity to keep making music, and we appreciate anybody wanting to talk to us about what we do. We have a lot of fun, and like I said, between Roddy Puckett, Katie Penn, Aaron Biebelhauser, and Chris Schaus and myself, we're just grateful that master musicians and festivals like that would give us an opportunity to play, and anytime you can make music is a good time.
I was a pretty little bird in the hills of Kentucky. I'd fly away from this old house that's made a wreck of me. Well, my mommy and daddy, they left this world when I was only 3. I'll meet them up in glory land in that day of sweet release. Well, seasons come, seasons go. Only one thing that's free, that's the grace from our dear old Lord that sanctified me. Well, I wish I was a pretty little bird in the hills of Kentucky. I'd fly away from this old house that's made a wreck of me.
I'm Ryan Malott from 500 Miles to Memphis, and this is your joke of the week. Why did the blind man fall in the well? Because he couldn't see that well.
That is all our time we have for now. Thank you for listening to Undergroundopolis. Remember, we do this every Wednesday night, bringing you new and exciting artists every week. Be sure to hit up their websites and social media and stream or download their music. If you like this show, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, any streaming platform, and leave us a review as well. I'm your host, Rob Lyon, signing off.